Hey, what's up everybody? Anthony Sevins back again for another product review. Today we're going to be discussing the iiRCADE Bartop Arcade Console. Let's rock and roll.
Ignition sequence starts. 6,
So first of all, you'll have to forgive me. I'm kind of using some chairs to hold this bar top up as the bottom part of the cabinet or the stand has not arrived yet. But I didn't want to make this about the full unit, as this is really the attractor piece right here. This is the iiRCADE Bartop Arcade Console. The company iiRCADE has been around for roughly a year at this point in time. It's currently the end of 2021, and they've come in kicking and swinging in the at-home arcade arena, I'll tell you that much. So I'm going to make comparisons to the Arcade 1-Up cabinets only because for the past 3 years I've been an Arcade 1-Up owner, so it's the easiest for me to make a comparison or make comparisons to, as well as a lot of people out there that I know own Arcade 1-Ups and are kind of on the fence about the iiRCADE. So if you're on the fence about this, as I once was, stick around to the end of the video. I've got quite a bit here to talk about. So first of all, I guess let's start at the beginning, the unpackaging of it, putting it together, the durability, the quality of it, the price point. So the retail price of this bar top runs approximately between, $600 to $700. Okay, with the stand, you can buy it in a whole package deal. It can run anywhere between $700 to $800. Now you might be thinking, well, that's a crap load of money, for the average person. But, in comparison to, say, like what Arcade 1-Up is doing, the most recent Arcade 1-Up cabinets are roughly $699. And you're getting, the full-size cabinet plus 1 to 2 to maybe 3 games per cabinet. And unfortunately, that it winds up becoming a little too high priced for people for such little to offer. But with iiRCADE, with that $600 to $700 price tag, there's a lot of value here. So again, starting at the beginning, I don't mean to get off track. Starting at the beginning, the construction of it, the durability. First of all, as being a smaller unit than, say, a full-size arcade cabinet, it was fairly easy to put together. I mean, I sat on the floor and threw this thing together in about half an hour's worth of time. And it comes with like the best way to describe it is like the screws that fit into the locks, and then you twist the locks nice and solid so everything's tight. This thing is built like a freaking tank, man. And, it's got the weight, it's got quality. I mean, just looking at it, even before I turned the machine on, I was very, very impressed with just the quality of the machine and the weight of it. I mean, it really felt and looks like it has value. Now, one of the things that really makes the iiRCADE very different from Arcade 1-Up, Arcade 1-Up really focuses on and rides the wave of nostalgia. That's pretty much everything that Arcade 1-Up does. Is here is some old school classic legendary games, and here's a cabinet to match it, and the whole experience of Arcade 1-Up is all about nostalgia, where the iiRCADE is more like, how about something a little bit new and different and modern, and it really goes to show. I mean, it really feels like a high-end, modernized piece of arcade gaming when it comes to iiRCADE. And they don't ride that wave of nostalgia, although they do have a small handful of classic legendary arcade games, as I enjoy calling them. But most of it is just, iiRCADE really wants to give the user a full experience and something that's modern and not just stuck in the past, but like totally games that have either been forgotten about or left behind or put on the side, as well as a lot of modern day style gaming and things that are modern gaming that's influenced by older games per se. I guess that's the best way to put it. So starting at the top here, you'll notice right off the bat, it does not have a traditional marquee. It's got, instead of a light up marquee or just a regular marquee that's themed, you have what I call an audio marquee. It's two 100-watt speakers. It's got the logo on there. It's very cool, very different, and the speakers are just right there in your face. And the great thing about these speakers, even though they're not the highest quality speakers in the world, is that they are booming loud. And when I say loud, I mean you can turn the volume halfway up and pretty much melt your face off, and you'll get a totally submersive experience. You know, a lot of people in the past have complained, my machine isn't loud enough, this isn't loud enough, this needs to be louder, and I've even done that myself. But with this, even halfway of volume, it's loud enough. You crank this thing at full volume, you're rattling windows and waking up your house. I mean, it's pretty impressive as far as how much power is in the sound. Moving down to the screen, iiRCADE offers a 19-inch screen as opposed to Arcade 1-Up's traditional 17-inch screen. So you're getting a larger viewing port, which I appreciate. I kind of like it a little bit bigger. It's almost like there's a little TV in here as opposed to like a computer monitor. And then moving down to the control panel, you'll see that each player is equipped with a joystick and 6 buttons to accommodate virtually every game that iiRCADE has to offer. They are Sanwa clones on this particular model. The more expensive models do have genuine Sanwa clones. But the buttons, everything works. The joystick works, the buttons work. And there, in each joystick is a square gate that's set for 8-way direction. Now, normally, what a lot of players are used to for an 8-way controller, you have an octagonal gate. Kind of makes things a little bit smooth in the 8-way, but with this, it comes with a square gate set for 8-way play. And it works and it functions. It feels a little weird, I guess, at first, but I mean, you quickly, within minutes, get fairly used to that. So let's give you a little bit closer look at the dashboard and everything that's going on here.
So you'll notice there's a whole line of buttons that's right up here at the top, and we'll kind of go through these real quick. So you have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack for those of you who want to play it loud and not wake up the neighborhood. You have a menu pause button, which is fantastic for when you're playing games, and you can just quickly hit that and it will pause the game, quickly hit it again, it'll go back. While in pause, if you hold down this button, it'll take you right back to the main menu within a matter of just seconds. Then you have your volume up, your volume down. I really like these tap buttons, are very, very cool. So as you can see, it can get really loud. And then turn it off. And then you have a player 1, coin, and player 2, which I think the coin button is a really interesting feature on this. It's like iiRCADE really didn't want to miss a step in the, I guess, complete experience of playing an arcade game back in the day. So, you know, you used to go to an arcade, pop in some quarters to give yourself credits to be able to play the game, and that's pretty much what this coin button functions as. So you don't just select a game and push start and you're good to go. You select the game, you put in how many credits you want, and then you push start so that you're able to access gameplay. And then you go over here to the power button. The power button is really cool. It functions as not only a full shutdown and turn on button, but it also functions as a sleeper button, and I'll show you how that works.
All right, so with the power button, say you're playing your game, blah, 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 and you just kind of want to shut things down, but you know you're going to come back to it right away. It's this simple. You hit the power button, and it goes into sleep mode. And then you come back to the game later on whenever you want, and boom, you're back into gameplay, which is awesome. Now, if you hold that power button down, it will go into a full shutdown, and then you hold it again, and it will turn back on and go into a full restart. Now, let's get to your options menu here on the screen.
Okay, so navigating this is super easy. We're gonna push the joystick to the left to get all the way to the end here. So you have recent. Recent are the recent games that you have just played. So if you have over 100 games on this particular machine and you want to go back to something that you just played yesterday or a day or two ago, you go to recent and kind of save yourself the time from scrolling through 100 games or so. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. Then you go to going to all. All is your entire catalog of games that you currently own in alphabetical order. So if you hold the joystick down, it'll scroll through to the bottom. Hold it up, it'll scroll through the top. Now, next over, you have different genres of games. So if there's not a particular game you're looking at and you're kind of like, I'm in the mood for an action game or an arcade game or a fighting game, racing games, shooter games, sports games, you can go to those different categories. So everything is super easy to navigate in this menu. It's very easy to understand everything. Everything is separated and categorized very, very nicely. And the 11 free games that this machine comes with as well, it's really cool because they give you like a little taste of each genre, so you kind of know what you're getting into a little bit. And we'll talk about the games shortly. But let's go over to settings. So in settings here, you have things like a quick starter guide. So if you push the button on that, it will show you like this is what all of these buttons do and mean over here. And then you have Bluetooth, so if you want to hook up your phone via Bluetooth to play music on this arcade console, you absolutely can, as well as hook up Bluetooth headphones. Brightness of the screen. Device password. You could put in a password if you don't want anybody dicking around with your machine while you're away from it, especially small children. So you have to put in a password to activate the machine. Information is your general tech information that the machine comes with, like the model number and stuff. Log in so that when you create an iiRCADE account online, you can log into the system here and it links everything up. Storage lets you know, how much storage is left on your device and all of the space that each game that you own and have on this machine take up. Then you have time zone, which you put in. As you can see on the screen here, it's got the day, the year, and also has a little clock up there as well, just kind of like a computer screen. So that's cool. Wherever you live in the world, it highly adapts to that. Wi-Fi, obviously, to connect to your Wi-Fi so that you can easily upload games onto this. Tracked mode, which I'll talk about in a second, and then system reset if you want to clear the whole thing out. Like if you're going to sell the machine, you want to erase everything on it, or if you have to do some kind of super hard reset because something eventually gets messed up along the way. I think that that's super cool that they have that feature as well. Now let's talk about a tracked mode. What a tracked mode is, on virtually any kind of arcade, if you let an arcade sit idle for a period of time, it goes into what they call an attract mode or a demo mode to kind of showcase the game on screen without anybody having to play it or pump in your quarters. And this is what would attract arcade goers to. It's kind of like saying, come and play me, check out this cool stuff. But now you have attract mode on this core unit of a machine. So what it does is it will cycle through, very quickly cycle through a bunch of different games that iiRCADE has to offer, not necessarily only the games that you own. And you can set the time on this. So if we go into attract mode, you can have it completely shut off or start after 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. Usually I have it set to about a minute or 30 seconds. Today we'll just give you an example. We're gonna hit for 10 seconds. Count down with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it goes into attract mode. And then from here, you can see the demo reel going on of all the different games in the background. And you might be thinking, well, what the hell is with the Yule log? Well, that's something the company just kind of throws in. This machine constantly gets little updates and things like that. And around the holidays, iiRCADE says, why not, 'tis the season, let's throw in a Yule log while this is going on. Now, some of you may be like, well, that's a little bit of annoying and stuff. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do until after the holidays, and then the log will go away and it'll go into regular attract mode. Now, the good news is, on each individual game, if you let sit around and go into attract mode, the log is not there. So, like, say if I'm playing Dragon Slayer and it's going through its attract mode, there is no fire, no log. But this is kind of nice. It's kind of nice around the holidays. It's kind of like, it goes to show a company's got a little bit of a holiday spirit, man, and I dig it. I dig that. All right, so let's talk about some of these games and kind of like what they have to offer here.
So again, the company's been around for a little over a year, and they have over 200 games on their online store that you can purchase and upload directly to your machine, which is that's not something that Arcade 1UP is able to do. Again, with Arcade 1UP, you buy what you buy. A Mortal Kombat machine comes with Mortal Kombat. Star Wars comes with Star Wars. But iiRCADE is pretty much, here's a unit where you can constantly keep loading things. Now, how many games can you store on this unit? Well, this is a very low 64 gigabyte storage on here. And from my understanding, from the horse's mouth of the company, if I were to purchase all 200 games and put it on my machine, 64 gigabytes, it would give or take about only half of the space on this machine. So you figure, again, give or take, 300 to 400 games can fit on this unit. Now you see, with all of the stuff that has going on with this, why the $600, $700 price tag on these. Now, about the games. So again, when it comes to iiRCADE, they don't necessarily ride on just the wave of nostalgia. They have a small handful of the classic legendary arcade games, as well as a lot of arcade games that have kind of come and gone, or people have forgot about, or people didn't even know existed, but were actually arcade games at some point in time. They also have a nice selection of ColecoVision games, as well as a lot of Android games that they have taken and reconfigured to be arcade playable on their machines. Now, I'm an Apple user, so I'm completely unfamiliar with any and all Android games out there. But of the 200 games that they have, there's a lot on there that are actually really, really good, really fun, and then there's a lot of games that are inspired by a lot of legendary classics. Take, what is that one called? It's, forgive me here, I'm still new in the field, like Beach Buggy Racing. Beach Buggy Racing is a racing game like in the vein of Mario Kart. You're riding around the beach, different types of tracks, you're collecting power-ups and shooting things. It's a very, very fun game. Even there's a snowboard game that comes with this called Snowboard Championship, and even that's fun. And I don't even care about snowboarding or sports games or anything, but I'm like, hell, I'll give it a try. And I'm playing, I'm like, this is actually quite fun. So needless to say, I'm very, very impressed. Like, I'm 44 years old. I love the classic nostalgic games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders and Defender and Centipede, and I always love and appreciate more of that. But again, iiRCADE is something a little different. It's not all about the nostalgia. It's try something new, try something modern. And, on that note, super, super impressed and very, very pleased with this. And from my understanding as well, they're actually working on getting the licenses for more classic, legendary, and well-known games. So there's always something to look forward to. Every Friday, we call iiRCADE Day around here, because every Friday is when they release new games and or fantastic deals on games that might have been a little too pricey before. So it's like there's always something continuous to look forward to. Now, let's talk about the customer service, okay? I must have emailed and messaged between emails and Facebook messages the company iiRCADE several times with little stupid questions, and each and every time Within a 24-hour period, I get sent messages back. We're talking, we're engaged in conversation. They're friendly, they're polite, they're informative, they're helpful in every way, shape, or form. iiRCADE's customer service is off the chain. Off the chain, as well as they're very interactive on the Facebook iiRCADE community page as well. Sometimes you'll post something and the creators are like sitting there like thumbs up and heart and things, or even responding to inquiries and questions. And also too, Facebook's iiRCADE community page. Amazing group of people, amazing. I've been with them for just a couple of short weeks since I purchased this unit, and everyone has been so cool and nice and friendly and informative as well. So it's like, you know, with this particular device, with the iiRCADE, you know, you think about that $600-700 price tag. Not only are you getting this core unit that you can load up to 400 games on, okay, and beyond, if that, but you're getting a full experience between the unit and the games, as well as the customer service, as well as the Facebook community. And it has just been an absolute honor and joy and pleasure to be a part of in every single way. Now let me show you one more thing about this before I let you go. That's right, you see it with your own eyes. There's the arcade machine, and there is a 32-inch TV. This machine has built inside of it an HDMI port, so you can hook up an HDMI cable right to a TV so that you have a spectator monitor on here. So if you've got company over, or you want to add a little bit of flair to your arcade, you know, having the dual monitor thing going on is just a great, cool, again, like modern style option for arcade machines that not a lot of other companies, if any, are doing. So all in all, like I said, being a person who is an arcade one-up lover, and being a person who is completely on the fence about the iiRCADE, the best investment I made. Now, the reason why I made that jump is because around the 2021 holidays, they have this as well as the stand as a bundle package going for about $300, $299. So you take that $600, $700, $800 price tag and bring it down to $300. Now you've caught my attention, and now I'm saying, to hell with it, I'm gonna give it a try. And I'm so glad I made that leap and have this in my possession. Now, you could that package bundle at this point in time has been completely sold out in many different places, as you can see why and understand why. But you can still get the Bartop unit, the 64 gigabyte Bartop unit, for I think about like $311 at this point in time. So I mean, there's still super sales going on around the winter. If you're interested in the iiRCADE, I suggest you scour the internet and look for the best prices available. But let me tell you, even if worse comes to worse and you had to pay absolutely full price for this, or even the one with the bigger memory on it, it's absolutely worth it. Just being an arcade lover in general, not just a nostalgic arcade lover, this machine adds a totally different experience to my arcade, but at the same time, it's absolutely through and through genuinely familiar. And I absolutely love the iiRCADE machine. And I'm not getting paid to say that. You know, as I always say, if something sucks, I'll say it sucks. And I think if someone said, well, Tony, say something that sucks about this machine. The only thing that I find that sucks about it is that I wish there was a lot more classic nostalgic games, which, again, from what I'm hearing, is kind of on the way in the near or far future. So I'm not worried about it. So nothing really sucks. Now, you may also be noticing there's not a deck protector on here. I mean, they've gone the distance enough to where you don't need a deck protector on here. Even all of the coverings and the skins on this thing is decently high quality enough that the artwork is not going to rub off with the oil of your hands. So again, modern day shit, new wave of the future, everything's cool. But anyways, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. Thank you for joining me. The iiRCADE, amazing stuff. I cannot wait to see what this company puts out within the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. All I gotta say is, being an iiRCADE owner, it's absolutely worth the purchase, and I'm completely beyond excited to see what comes next. Anyways, thanks for joining me. This is Anthony Sevins signing off. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, take care of each other.